cannot go fishing without the official.
What's going on today, Bobby?
Hey, we're at a new place. We're at the Mohawk Indian Reservation today.
What are we doing today, Will?
Well, after all these years of fishing his whole career, Hank Parker fishing his whole career, he called me for lessons. I was surprised.
And we're going to be showing our way around the river and some special hideaway places where we can catch some big ones.
That's what we're going to try to do, and we've got several people working on trying to find some fish in different locales.
Fished my whole life, but he says, I haven't fished as good, as well as you have, he says. So I'm like, all right, Hank, come on up, buddy. I'll teach you a few old Indian tricks. Yeah.
We have got fish found that they're catching in the river that is routine, and they're hammering them, but we don't want to go there. I got Boone and Cade coming tomorrow, and we'll hammer them with Boone and Cade, but today we're going to go looking. So we're like a bird dog. We're just trying to point a covey of quail. We'll flush them and shoot them tomorrow.
Is it? Yeah.
Minnie Pearl made a living doing that.
She did. I was hoping to follow in her steps. Howdy, Hank. How you doing, Hank? Howdy, Hank. How you doing, buddy? This guy's just. Hey, look at that fisherman right behind you. Look at that fisherman. The old Osprey's got your bass already.
He's nuts, Hank.
I know, he's a lot like me. Only he does not have a clean mouth.
Surround the wagons, Parker. What did he say about his hoe?
I've been fishing here for 40 years. I've never seen another. You have no right. Do you know who I am?
He's heard it before, he said.
I can't believe you guys. Did all I've ever seen. You just ride around and look for me. I'm always the victim.
Well, Mr. Victim, I love it. I got a spot down here where there's a bunch of them. It's a little finicky. They're a little finicky sometimes.
But they are.
They're in.
Gigantes.
Yes.
Let's go see them.
Let's go.
All right.
You're gonna have at it.
You see that little island we were fishing? I'd have never known it was there if it wasn't from old Lake Master. Thank you, Lake Master.
Now, before we go in, we have to get you guys blindfolded.
Okay.
I want you to follow the sound of Will's engine.
Okay.
If I go, you turn left.
What's the turn right sound?
I don't know. We haven't worked that out yet.
Oh. NASCAR only turns left, so we're okay.
That's why we said left.
Yeah.
Heck, we used to that. Okay.
What are we fishing for here? Big smallmouth bass?
Right on the drop. It goes like this, shallow, and it drops off. There's all of that drop.
You know, I read that one time in the Ye Old Smallmouth book by Bill Dance. That's kind of what they call the brake line. Yeah, I read about that. I'm looking at these rocks that make a long rock point. It's got some big boulders on it, and it is breaking this current. A lot of current here, and water temperature is about 50 degrees. I'd like to find a little warmer water behind these breaker points like this rock, but I see some boulders on here, and that should be an area to hold fish. They get behind these boulders big time because it breaks that current. That's their little hiding place in They may not be quite aggressive enough to come after a jerkbait. I may have to go to a little grub, little swim bait, maybe a jig, something a little bit more slow and subtle. I had one follow-up so far. That's all I've seen. These boulders, man, that ought to be the ticket. I got a couple little swim baits on some heads. Been fishing down at Lake Ontario, and that has been our ticket down there. Now, we're only probably 60 miles from where we've been fishing, so I can't imagine the pattern being too much different. But, you know, it's amazing how from body of water to body of water, but that's what it took. Now, I threw in there with that jerkbait and did not catch a fish, and followed up with this little same thing we found at Lake Ontario. Same exact thing. How about that? I fished the jerkbait, didn't get a bite. Followed up. 6-pound line. Don't you get off with my little grub, buddy. I need that. A little 6-pound line, but I didn't tie that on there. My old buddy tied that knot. Oh, well. Old buddy tied that knot, but I got a new one here. Man, see how fast we're already pushed this far back from where I was at. The current is a lot swift, but hey, I fished that jerkbait through there perfect. Didn't get a rise. Put that little grub on there, that little swim bait. Boom. First rock. I like that, but I'd rather that hit that jerkbait. It's a whole lot easier in this wind. There he is. Him is. He took the jerkbait. I watched him. He thought he came off. Nice smalley, eh? Nice smalley, eh? Come here, buddy. These smallmouth have little mouths, and they're really hard to grip. But I think you could catch them really good on the swim bait, but I don't think Caden Boone's going to be able to do that very well. There he is. He caught me one out here on the weed line. I don't think he's a very big one. Tell you what, we're doing different things. We're pecking along. This is really finesse fishing here. 6-pound test line, little swim bait on a 1/4 ounce. Actually a 3/8 ounce head, and finessing the mud line. And we just now fished about 400 yards of this and hadn't felt a rock. Felt my first rock and caught a fish. And if you look, there's 2 seagulls sitting on a rock there. All down through there it's just marsh. The rock's just now starting, so we may get in some fish right here. Another one. A little better bass, a little better bass. Oh, pretty thing, come in here, you pretty thing. You pretty thing, you pretty thing, you. I got a pretty good hook in him. You pretty thing. Aren't they beautiful? The wind's blowing, which is something that always happens on the Great Lakes. And for southern fishermen, it's annoying. But it's something you got to get used to and adjust to and not run from. It's aggravating. A little white cat around here. Most time in the south you'd run off and leave this, but it's just commonplace up here. So you just have to be patient, adjust. And I'm fishing up here with Will Clute, and Will told me this point is just a marsh. It doesn't look like much. It's a deep break line, and those fish get on that mud line, and you just have to work it real methodically. But you could catch a really big one here. So that's what I'm trying to do, figure out how Boone and Cade could fish. They could fish this, so we'll see how it works out. Oh, fat. So much fun to watch them down there in that clear water. Oh, fat girl. Oh, fat girl. Oh, fat girl. How you like that, fat girl? There he is. I got one. Yeah, I thought he was a good one. He just pulling hard. See, Jordy, I'm a thinking man. This ain't no thinking thing. Left brain, right brain. They're doubling up here, Bobby and them. I got a fish. I got this backlash out. Got a fish. They got one. He's just a little bitty guy, but he's quite the puller. Quite the puller. Are y'all catching them?
Every time I come over here, he's catching.
I can't believe you in here in my hole. You get out of here. All right, we're ready to go look for turkeys.
Go.
Okay, I'll be there in 15 minutes.
I got a few spots.
Did y'all catch any good fish here? Did y'all catch any good fish here?
Yeah, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
6 or 5 of them? You caught 6 or 5 of them out of my hole. 6 or 5 right out of my hole.
I know how to count, you know, 5.
Hey, look here, man. I'll never win another tournament with a guy like you. It's all over for me. I quit. There he is. There he is. We're not catching any big old giants, but this is a pretty fat one here. Golly, bum, look how fat that fish is. Fat, fat, fat. Well, I think we found a little ticket here, and we just fished that little swim bait, and I think the boys can handle that without hanging up. I think we're gonna have a good day with Boone and Cade tomorrow. I'm so excited, man. It's pumped up, man. Grandbabies, we're going fishing.